Lori.
And this is our 1995-96 Welcome Back video.
So listen up.
Hi, my name is Drew McGukin, and today Lori Garmy and I are going to be interviewing our administrators here at Central High School. First is Dr. Sharon Hernberg, who is Assistant Principal for Instruction here at Central. I'm going to ask Ms. Hernberg some questions that might help you get started out on the right foot this year. Dr. Hernberg, how is it decided what courses are required for graduation?
The courses for graduation are decided based on when you enter the 9th grade. The State Board of Education actually establishes by policy which courses are required for graduation. Then the Carroll County Board also adds to or specifies exactly what the courses were. In recent years, Carroll County Board has said that students must have a year of world geography, whereas the State Board had said only the world history. So your courses for graduation are established the year you enter the 9th grade.
So what you're saying is it's very important for this year's 9th graders to be considering where they want to be at graduation.
Yes, we feel it's very important. We'd like to sit down with the parents, with the students, to say, here are the courses that are required for graduation. These are the ones you need to take to graduate. They need to understand that 4 years of English are required. Therefore, you'll be taking English each year. 3 years of math, and these are the maths that are required. So we do think it's very important for you to look to see this is what's required for you to graduate.
Well, while on the subject of courses and requirement, how do you go about selecting the courses which you need to take each semester?
Each student is assigned an advisor, and this advisor is also the homeroom teacher. The student has the opportunity to meet with the homeroom teacher each day for 10 minutes. Then, prior to registration for courses for the new semester, the students sit down to meet with the advisor for a one-on-one conference. At this time, the advisor looks at the courses the student has already passed, looks at what this student plans to do when he or she graduates. Then together they select the courses the student needs to take for the next semester. Then they list these courses on what we call a course offering sheet. This course offering sheet is taken home by the student for the parent to see. The student sits down with the parent, explains the courses that he or she is going to take. The parent signs this sheet showing understanding and approval of the classes. Then the student returns this sheet to the advisor so that this advisement process involves the student, the parent, and the advisor to plan those courses for the next semester.
Okay. Well, my next question is probably the one you will hear most within the first week of school. What if there are errors in my schedule?
We hope there are not any errors, but sometimes the great computer does make an error. If there is an error in the schedule, meaning maybe the wrong class was bubbled, maybe you went to summer school and you passed that Algebra 1 now and are ready to go on to the geometry, then the student needs to see the advisor, sit down with the advisor, and again they're looking at courses passes, course needed. And the advisor and the student actually fill out what we call a drop-add form to make the request for a change. That form is sent to the counselor's office. Up here, we make the change in the computer. The sheet is sent back to the student. Now, the student cannot make a class change until that student receives the drop-add form showing that change has been approved. This is very important because it must come through the counselor's office to be changed in the computer. Otherwise, we think you're in this class where you originally were scheduled. And we've had one instance when a student just accidentally made the change in the class before the change had been made in the computer. The parent came looking for that student and could not find him or her. So be sure it has been made in the computer and you've received this drop-add form back. The student takes this drop-ad form and gets it signed, first of all by the teacher whose class you're coming out of, and secondly by the teacher whose class you are entering. Then this form is returned to the advisor to go in the advisement folder.
Okay, well, my last question is probably another very important question, not only here at the beginning of school, but all year long. What do I do if I'm absent from school, and how do I make arrangements for my makeup work?
We encourage all of our students to come every day. We understand that sometimes there will be illness. If you are absent, then you must bring a note from your parent or guardian, and this note should state the student's name, the exact dates the student has been absent, and the reason for the absence. The student brings this note to the counselor's office, hands the note to Miss Wood in the morning before school starts. This needs to be done before school starts each morning. And then Miss Wood fills out what we call a blue note showing that this absence was excused. The state mandates exactly the reasons we can excuse an absence. This includes personal illness of the student, serious illness or death in the family, and holidays mandated by the state government. These are our only absences that can be excused. If you were absent and you either forgot to bring your note or you were absent for a reason that would not be excused, then you do not need to come to the counselor's office to get a note this year. You will simply go on to class and explain to your teacher that you do not have an excused absence for that day. Now, to make up your work, if it is the first time you've been absent from that class this semester, or anywhere between 1 and 4 times, it is your responsibility as a student to see the teacher to make arrangements to make up this work. If it is your 1st through 4th absence this semester in this class, now these are classroom absences, then you and the teacher sit down to select whether you want to make it up before school, after school, during enrichment period, or on the Saturday classes. Now, once you've missed that class 5 times during the semester, anywhere between 5 and 10 times, you lose the privilege of making up any work during the enrichment period. You must come before school, after school, or on Saturday classes. Now, if you were to be in a situation where you had more than 10 absences, then the only time that will be open to you to make up work will be during Saturday classes. And there is a schedule in the student handbook of the Saturdays when we will be offering Saturday classes.
So it looks like this year absences and makeup work are going to be playing a much larger role in the area of your grades than they have in years past.
Yes, they have. We are putting a strong emphasis on attendance. We want the students to be at school because we feel there's so much that happens in the classroom that there's really no way to make up. The interaction, the questions, the tests, yes, can be made up. The written work can be made up. But there is that interaction in the classroom that is so important. So we want to encourage all of our students to be here every day they can.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Dr. Herrenberg. And Dr. Herrenberg and I both hope this helps each of you to have a much easier first week this year.
We're talking with Coach Swafford, Assistant Principal in charge of discipline, to talk about some discipline procedures that each student needs to know. There are 2 types of detention hall. Would you explain the difference?
Sure. There are 2 types of detention hall. We have teacher detention. Teacher detention is detention that is assigned by classroom teachers. A teacher has the right to keep you after school or ask you to come in the mornings prior to school for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever that teacher decides to do. And you have the responsibility to take care of that teacher detention. We also have school detention. School detention is assigned by an administrator. It meets on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoons and at mornings. The morning detention begins at 7:25 and meets in room 4, and the afternoon detention begins at 3:05 and meets in room 53. There is one slight change in school detention this year that I want all of our students to be aware of. When you accumulate more than 8 days of school detention, you are placed in in-school suspension for a number of days. And while you are in-school suspension, you still must finish the original 2 or 3 days of detention that was originally assigned.
Okay. When a student is placed in in-school suspension, what is the procedure?
Okay, the procedure for in-school suspension is a discipline referral form has been written up by your teacher and given to me. I will call you into my office and we will discuss the problem, and then if in-school is assigned, you will be asked to report to my office on an assigned morning with all of your books, your paper, and your pencil. And around approximately 8:30 or 8:35, we will escort you out to the in-school suspension building. The following days after that, you do not have to report to my office. You report simply to the in-school suspension coordinator, Mr. Lee. However, if you arrive at school prior to 8:21, you cannot come in the school building without a signed note by Mr. Lee or by myself.
And what do students need to know about the tobacco policy?
Okay, the tobacco policy at Central High School basically reads that the unauthorized possession or use or distribution or sale of tobacco products on school system property or at a school event is illegal. Where we get a problem is dip, and dip is illegal also. Even if you don't have it in your mouth, if you simply have it in your possession, it's an illegal product and you will be placed in in-school suspension. Tobacco products are considered a level 2 offense.
What about the weapons policy on campus?
Okay, very good question, Lori. The weapon policy reads that a student shall not possess, handle, or transmit weapons and dangerous instruments which include firearms, fireworks, explosives, knives, or any object which could reasonably be considered a weapon, such as a baseball bat. And the key that I want the students again to realize is that certainly it's not allowed in campus or in the school, but it also is not allowed in your automobile. So if a bat is brought to school and left in the car, technically that's illegal. So we don't need any weapons at Central High School.
Well, thank you very much.
Our last interview for the day is with Mr. Scott Cowart, our principal here at Central High School. Mr. Cowart, what new programs and additions do we have this year at Central?
Drew, we're excited to have several new programs here at Central High School. One of these is what we call our PRIDE program, and this is a program to encourage student achievement in academics, attendance, and behavior. Another new addition will be a Saturday school program, which we will offer 12 times during the year, and Dr. Hermberg talked to you about earlier. We also will have several facilities improvements that you'll notice as you walk around the school. We're very proud of our media center, our band room, the front office, and several of the landscaping projects we've worked on through the summer. So we're excited about these additions to our school program.
Well, you mentioned the PRIDE program. What exactly is that?
The PRIDE program is our attempt to reward students who achieve in the areas of academics, attendance, and behavior. This program is made up of several things that we already had in place, with the addition of some new parts that will help to recognize students. The new areas of our student recognition program come in an exam exemption policy, which we will use consistently throughout the building, an extra mile assembly which will occur at the end of the school year to recognize students who have achieved above and beyond the call of duty, and a Dream Team program which we're very excited about, which will encourage students to perform the entire year in all 3 areas. We hope this will encourage all of our students to work hard in academics as well as being at school and behaving while they're here.
Well, I feel like the idea of school improvement is not only a concern for the administration, but for a lot of the students as well. So how exactly would a student go about making a suggestion about an improvement they have at Central High School?
Drew, we have in place a way that we can take suggestions for improvements and hopefully use them to better our school. Some of the changes we've talked about this morning came about because of improvement suggestions. The process we have is called our Central High Improvement Committee. We have forms at the front desk from Ms. Vicki Kilgore, and if you as a student or any of our staff members have suggestions for improvements, get one of these forms, fill it out, and we'll look at this, and if it's something we can do, we'll do it. If not, we'll give you feedback as to why we couldn't do it. But we're excited about the opportunity of students giving us suggestions and using these to improve the school for everyone.
Well, My last question is just kind of an overview of everything, but what exactly do you expect from Central High School this year?
Drew, we really believe that this is going to be the best year ever. Central High School has the best students anywhere around. We have a super faculty. We have great parents to work with. We think we have all the ingredients to make this school the best in the area. So our goal as we look at the 1995-96 school year is to make each student as successful as possible, and we'll work hard to do that.
Well, Mr. Cowart, thanks so much for your time, and I'm sure Mr. Cowart is looking forward to this year.
This concludes our 1995-96 Welcome Back video.
We as students and faculty would just like to say,
Have a great year.